Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking through the NBA slate on Draftkings for Monday, March the 20th. We got a 6-game slate for Monday, guys. As always, we're going to go game by game. We're going to give you a quick breakdown of this 6-game slate. What I do like, taking a first look on Sunday night when I'm recording this video. But as always, guys, before we get started with the breakdown, if you guys do enjoy these DFS videos, and if they do help you out, make sure you hit that like button down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to the channel, if you've never checked out PrizePicks before, PrizePicks is the sponsor of this video. You guys can actually sign up for PrizePicks. You can use my promo code NOAH. If you look at the bottom of the screen, when you sign up for PrizePicks with promo code NOAH, you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. And for those of you that have never heard about PrizePicks, they are a player prop site. Very simple and easy to use. You're just taking more or less on a player's projection. And you can see they do already have some projections posted for Monday's games. Not much is on the board right now. I'm recording this video again on Sunday night. They still have projections up for Sunday night's games. But they got some stuff up for Monday. You can take a look at the board, see if there's any props that stand out to you. Again, you're just taking more or less on a player's projection. It's as simple as that. You have to make at least 2 picks. You can make up to 6 picks, and you can win up to 25x your money on PrizePicks. You can also mix and match sports, and PrizePicks does offer a ton of other sports outside of just NBA. We got March Madness going on right now. PrizePicks does offer college basketball if you're in an eligible state. PrizePicks offers MLB. We have like spring training games going on right now. CS:GO, esports, soccer, women's college basketball. They got everything. So if you want to give PrizePicks a try, make sure to use that promo code NOAH when you sign up, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. But let's go ahead and talk through Monday's little 6-game slate. We'll start off with the first game of the night. This is going to be a very fun game to target for DFS purposes. 2 teams that play fast, 2 teams that don't play much defense. We got the Pacers and the Hornets going up against each other. We'll start off on the Charlotte side. Looking at Charlotte here, we know they're still without LaMelo Ball, obviously. Still no Mark Williams either. Terry Rozier without LaMelo Ball is going to continue to have a pretty big role, going to continue to have a really good usage rate, going to play big minutes as long as the game can stay competitive. This is a game against Indiana that I think the Hornets should be able to keep close. So we should get, 36, 38 minutes from Terry Rozier tonight. I think it's 7,900. He's a fine play on this slate. I don't have any issue going to Rozier, and he's definitely viable for GBPs. I think Kelly Oubre is a fine GBP play as well. This is going to be a great game environment. It should be a very high-scoring game. So this is going to be one we want to get some exposure to, and I think Oubre is a fine GBP play. Even looking at a guy like Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington, I think they're not. I don't like them as much, but I still think Hayward and Washington are fine options. I definitely like Nick Richards, though. So Nick Richards is 5,100. His minutes have kind of been all over the place lately. But last game against Philly, that was a really tough matchup. He got in foul trouble as well. Plus, it was a blowout. The game before that was also a very tough matchup against Cleveland. Now he gets to face a Pacers team that's been a really good matchup for centers this season. Richards, should play 25 to 30 minutes here in the games that he has started where he's not been in foul trouble and it's not been a blowout. He's been playing about 30 minutes, so I definitely think Nick Richards at 5,100 looks pretty solid. He's probably my favorite play on the Hornets, then Rozier, then Oubre, and then Hayward and Washington I think are fine too. Washington I probably would prefer between him and Hayward. The rest of the Hornets, though, I don't see too much interest in really anyone else on this team. So I think we can go ahead and talk about the Indiana side now. And for the Pacers today, no Tyrese Halliburton, who I think is going to be out for a few more games, I'm pretty sure. But Benedict Mathurin, Chris Duarte, and Isaiah Jackson I think are all questionable. Mathurin's questionable, Duarte is questionable, and I think Jackson's questionable as well. Yeah, all those guys are questionable. Without Halliburton right now, it kind of does matter if Mathurin and Duarte are in or out, because they would just be, Indiana would be even more shorthanded if those guys are out. We've been seeing Jordan Nwora get a lot of minutes lately without Duarte, without Mathurin. He would definitely be someone I'd be interested in. We'll start off at the top, though, with Miles Turner. Made Miles Turner the thumbnail for today. Great spot here for Miles Turner going up against the Hornets. We know the Hornets have been a great matchup for centers all season. Turner has crushed in this matchup so far this season. He's faced the Hornets twice. He's averaged almost 48 Draftkings points per game against them. As long as this game is close, we should get around 30 minutes from Miles Turner, maybe more. The matchup is about as good as it gets. So I think 7,300 Miles Turner in this spot looks really, really good. I think Buddy Hield at 6,600 is a fine GBP play. I feel like you get more upside from a guy like Turner, but I think Hield's fine. And then Nembhard and McConnell, they're both going to continue to have bigger roles without Tyrese Halliburton. Nembhard's been starting, been playing pretty big minutes. I think he even played even though that last game was kind of a blowout, he still got some minutes even in the blowout. I think at 6,100, he feels priced about right, but I definitely think he is still viable. And then TJ McConnell's been coming off the bench. He's been really productive in the minutes he's gotten, and we've seen McConnell be really good in the games without Halliburton this season. Even though he's going to come off the bench, he should still play around 30 minutes. He also feels priced about right at 6,100. But again, this matchup is so good. The game environment here is so good that I could definitely see one of McConnell or Mathurin doing well here and outperforming their salaries. Don't think I would play them together at their price tags, but I think going to one of the two is definitely fine. And then, like I said, Jordan Nwora, he's been starting lately. He's been pretty productive as well. He's been playing good minutes, 31, 33, and 29 minutes the last 3 games, 34, 32, 31 DraftKings points. When Nwora was on the Bucks, we saw him be very productive whenever he would get to play without Giannis and without Middleton and without Drew. Well, now on this Pacers team without Tyrese Halliburton, Nwora's a guy that can really soak up a lot of usage, and he'll take a lot of shots. He's not afraid to shoot. He'll rebound. He can get assists. He's a guy that can just be productive when he's out there, and the minutes have been strong for him lately. Again, I think his value is going to depend on the status of Mathurin and Duarte, but if those guys remain out and Nwora is still starting, I think Nwora at 5,400 looks pretty solid today. I definitely have interest in him as kind of like a value play. So that's probably it for Indiana. I don't see too much interest in really anyone else, I don't think. Aaron Naismith had a good game last game. He's had a couple good games in a row. He definitely should pick up more opportunity without Halliburton, but I think at 5,200, he's kind of priced where he should be. I feel like Nwora is a guy that offers more permanent upside, and historically he's just been a better permanent player. But Naismith is playable if you do want to go there. But let's move on to the next game. Talk about Philadelphia and Chicago. So start off on the Sixers side. Looking at Philadelphia here. I don't like too much on the Sixers today. A lot of the guys like Maxey, Harris, Melton, they all got priced up because Harden was out last game. So those guys are all kind of overpriced now with Harden back. So really you're just going to be looking at Harden and Embiid here. It's not the best matchup for Embiid. Chicago's done a pretty good job defensively this season against bigs. Their defense in general has just been really good lately. But Embiid is just playing like at an elite level right now. He's playing huge minutes on a nightly basis. He's been stuffing the stat sheet. Like, I think Embiid's someone you can always pay up for. I don't think on this slate I'm going to be going out of my way to play him, but he's definitely fine. He's for sure in play for GPPs. It clearly seems like right now he's trying to win the MVP, and he's going out there and just kind of trying to prove a point every night. So I'm fine with Embiid. Harden at 9,900, I'll probably pass on. If I was going to play one of the two Sixers guys, I'd rather go to Embiid. And again, none of the other Sixers look very appealing now that Harden's back, and those guys are got priced up a lot. So let's talk about the other side of this game now with the Bulls guys. And for the Bulls here, I don't have a ton of interest in really anyone. It's not the greatest matchup against Philly. Philly's good defensively. They play at a slow pace. DeRozan's been way, way better lately. We're starting to see DeRozan kind of look like his old self. He's been playing massive minutes. He's been much more productive on a permanent basis. He feels priced correctly, though, at 8,700. I don't think at this price tag in this matchup he really stands out. I think the same could be said for Zach LaVine at 8,300. He feels priced about right, but he's playable. Vooch, I want to say, has had some good games in the past against Joel Embiid, and he's actually done really well against Embiid this season. Look at his through 2 games against the Sixers. I need to pull up the full game log. Let me see the 2 games he's had. I don't know if Embiid played both those games. I'm guessing he did, but let's see here. So they played Philly on January 6th. Vooch had 65 DraftKings points in 36 minutes, and then they played again. Let's see. I assume he had like 55 DK points, 36 minutes and 55 DK points. So yeah, he's had 55 and 65 DK points in their 2 games against Philly this season, and I'm guessing Embiid played both those games. I want to say that when he was on the Magic, Vooch had some good games against Embiid. So like I think Vooch actually does kind of well against Embiid. So at 7,700 as a tournament play, I don't think Vooch is going to get any ownership today. That's someone that I wouldn't mind going to, and honestly, if I had to play anyone on the Bulls, I think he would be my favorite guy to go to. But I'm not really looking to anyone else on Chicago. I know Patrick Beverley had a good game over the weekend. He had 28 DK points in 24 minutes. Beverley just never been that great of a permanent producer. The minutes have been okay, but not enough to where I think he's like that great of a value. So let's go ahead and move on to the next game, Minnesota and New York. So we'll start off on the Knicks side. Looking at the Knicks today, there's not too much that really stands out here. Jalen Brunson's back now and is fully healthy. So obviously like Randall, Quickly, Barrett, Hart, these guys are all going to get a little bit of a bump down with Brunson back. Honestly, I think my favorite play on New York would be Brunson. Brunson's only 7,500. I mean, before he got injured, we were paying like 8,500 for Brunson on a nightly basis. In his first game back from injury, he played 32 minutes. He wasn't really limited that much. Took 20 shots, so he was really aggressive offensively. I'd assume after a day or 2 off of rest, I mean, he probably plays full minutes tonight. I think the matchup against the Knicks is against the Timberwolves, I think is fine. So at 7,500, I think Brunson is someone that I'm definitely interested in. He does feel a little bit underpriced here. Randall at 9,200 is okay, but again, with Brunson back, I think that does cut into Randall's upside a little bit. And then like Quickly and Barrett and the rest of these guys, I'm not very interested in. It's really just I think it's really just Brunson that I like most. Maybe you could go to Mitchell Robinson at 4,500. His minutes have kind of been all over the place lately. He hasn't been playing in the 30s in minutes, but he's still been getting like high 20s. Matchup against Gobert, I don't love, but I think they're going to need Robinson out there to match up with Gobert. So like I think we do get maybe 30 minutes from Mitchell Robinson, and when he does play 30 minutes, he can give you good games. So he's an okay value at 4,500. But let's talk about the other side now with the Timberwolves. And for the Timberwolves today, a lot of question marks. Anthony Edwards questionable for this game. Rudy Gobert questionable. Gobert's been questionable like the last 5 games, and he's played all of them. So I'm expecting Gobert to play. Anthony Edwards, on the other hand, don't really know. There was reports that like Anthony Edwards was in a walking boot. So like I would be surprised if he plays. Or it looks like he's no longer in a walking boot. So I guess he's good to go now. I don't really know, but we'll have to keep an eye on Anthony Edwards' status. If he plays at 8,900, I think he's fine. It's his first game back from an injury, so like I don't know if that's really going to affect him. But if he only missed like 1 game, the injury must have not been that serious. So I would assume if he plays today, he's full go. He's obviously viable for GPPs, but where it really gets interesting is if Anthony Edwards gets ruled out. Last game with Anthony Edwards out, I know Rudy Gobert had a really big first half. I don't think he did much in the second half, but he finished with 36 DK points. He did lose a little bit of minutes due to garbage time. They did get blown out by the Raptors, but I think Gobert would get a little bit of a boost. Kyle Anderson's been absolutely crushing lately. I think he would be viable at 6,900 if Anthony Edwards is out. I think if Edwards plays, I'm not as interested in Anderson at this price tag. Then Mike Conley, I think, also gets a bump. Conley wasn't that great last game, but the game before that against Chicago, that was the game that Edwards got injured in, and Conley went off, had 52 DK points. That's like one of the best games he's had in forever. I definitely think Conley will be able to be more aggressive offensively if there's no Edwards, so he would be viable. And then Jaden McDaniels is the guy that's really taken a big bump without Anthony Edwards. Last 2 games, he's played 45 minutes. I think that game went to overtime. But then last game against Toronto, without Anthony Edwards, he played 31 minutes. We were seeing him taking a good amount of shots, 15 and 14 shots in those 2 games without Edwards. Been productive when he's out there. 42 DK points, 31 DK points. At 5K, I think Jaden McDaniels would be a pretty good value play today if Anthony Edwards is out. And then some of these like bench guys that you can maybe take a shot on. Taurean Prince did start last game in place of Anthony Edwards. He played 30 minutes, but only had 8 Draftkings points. He's super cheap, 3,400. So if he does start again, I think Taurean Prince is going to be a viable play. Wouldn't be excited to roster him, but I think he would be viable. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker played 19 minutes, wasn't very productive. I don't know if his role will really change too much. I'm not super interested in him. I don't think there's really any other guys I'd want to go to on Minnesota, but I definitely think, Kyle Anderson, Jaden McDaniels, Mike Conley, these guys all get a little bit of a boost if Anthony Edwards is out again. Again, we'll have to pay attention to that news. Hopefully, with this game being a 7:30 game, hopefully we'll have that news before lock. But let's go ahead and move on to the next one, Dallas and Memphis. So this is another game where there's a lot of injury news to keep an eye on. We'll start off on the Memphis side. So for Memphis today, still no John Morant, still no Steven Adams, and Jaren Jackson Jr. is questionable. So this is pretty big news. Jaren Jackson Jr. obviously is kind of like one of the lead offensive guys right now without without Steven Adams and without John Morant. We're seeing Triple J play big minutes. He's taking a lot of shots. If he's out, there's going to be a lot of usage available for Desmond Bane, a lot of usage available for Tyus Jones, and a lot of minutes would be available for Xavier Tillman. A lot of minutes will be available for Santi Aldama. We'll start off with Santi Aldama. If Jaren Jackson Jr. is out, I think Santi Aldama is probably the best value play on the slate. Aldama's been a great permanent producer this season. He's a very good rebounder. He's a guy that can score as well. He would definitely be way too cheap here if Triple J's out. So he would be the first guy that I would look to. And then I think, the rest of these guys like Tillman, Tyus Jones, Bane, Dylan Brooks, they'd all look really good as well because there's just a lot of usage available if we're not going to have Triple J plus no Ja and no Steven Adams. Now if Triple J plays, then I think Triple J, Bane, Tyus Jones, they're all fine plays. I don't think any of them stand out though at their salaries. Dylan Brooks and Xavier Tillman I think are okay value plays. Tillman I would definitely like a lot more if Triple J's out, but we did see Tillman get back up to 32 minutes last game. His minutes were kind of trending down before that, but he got 32 minutes last game. If he does play close to 30 minutes again, he has the upside to pay off a $5,400 salary. And then Dylan Brooks, he's just going to continue to have a bigger role without John Morant. Nobody likes Dylan Brooks. Nobody wants to roster Dylan Brooks. He's not a very fun guy to play in DFS, but when he's out there, he's going to shoot the ball a lot, whether he's making his shots or not. That's the question, but he's going to shoot when he's out there. He's going to play pretty good minutes as long as he avoids foul trouble. I think he's a viable, cheap option at 5K. And that's probably it for Memphis. Nothing else looks very appealing here. But again, this Jaren Jackson Jr. news is going to be very important. Now, on the Dallas side, big news to monitor here. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving are both questionable for this game. Pretty much, it's pretty easy to break down. If Luka and Kyrie both play, pretty much no one on Dallas is going to be in play because Wood, Tim Hardaway Jr., Josh Green, Jaden Hardy, these guys all got priced up a lot for when, those guys were out. If they return, I'm pretty much off of all Dallas guys except for maybe Luka and Kyrie. I don't think at their price tags, though, either one would be priorities here. It would be their first game back from injury, or technically not Kyrie's because Kyrie played last game, but Luka's first game back from injury in almost 2 weeks. At 12K, I mean, you're kind of paying the max price for Luka here, so I don't know if I'd really want to go to him even if he plays today. And then Kyrie at 10K, if Luka plays, I'm not very interested in. If Luka's out, I think Kyrie becomes pretty appealing. Kyrie played 39 minutes in his first game back from injury, so there was really no limits on him. He was very aggressive offensively. His usage was great. I think we could expect a lot more of the same here if there's no Luka. So it's kind of just a wait and see right now. If Luka and Kyrie are both in, I'm fine just kind of full fading Dallas today. But if Luka's out and Kyrie's in, really like Kyrie. If by some chance Kyrie's out and Luka's in, then maybe we could go to Luka. But again, you're paying the max price on Luka right now. It's not like you're getting much of a discount on him. He's over 12K. And that's really it for Dallas. I mean, nothing else looks that great on Dallas. Christian Wood's had some good games off the bench lately. His minutes have kind of been trending up, but do I buy this? I don't really know. I mean, he played 34 minutes last game, but I just have no idea if that happens again. Maybe by some chance I think if Kyrie and Luka are both out, then yeah, we could definitely go to Christian Wood. We could definitely go to Tim Hardaway Jr., Josh Green, Jaden Hardy. But I have a feeling one of those two guys is probably going to play, if not both of them. So yeah, that's probably it for Dallas, I think. Let's go ahead and move on to the next game. I'll talk about Golden State and Houston. So kind of similar to the Indiana-Charlotte game, this is another game that should be very good to target for DFS. Two teams that play fast, two teams that have struggled defensively, especially Golden State. They've really struggled defensively on the road this year. We'll start off on the Houston side. It is a back-to-back for Houston. They are playing right now against the Pelicans at the time I'm making this video. I'd assume everyone's going to be good to go for Houston. I doubt they rest anybody or anything. And we're seeing right now, in competitive games, the Rockets are actually playing their guys really big minutes. They're playing Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Şengün, Jabari Smith, really big minutes. Now, we're not getting much of a discount on these guys. I mean, especially Kevin Porter Jr., he's kind of max price, 8K. Jalen Green feels priced about right, 6,800. The guy that I think I like most is Şengün, 6,700. We're seeing Şengün's minutes tick up lately. You look over his last 5 games, 34 minutes against Brooklyn, 33 against Chicago, 31 against the Lakers, 36 against the Pelicans, and he was on pace to play pretty big minutes on Sunday night when I'm making this video. We'll see how many minutes he winds up playing for the full game, but it seems like right now the Rockets are going to play Şengün 30-plus minutes as long as he avoids foul trouble, as long as the game is competitive, and we know that Şengün is a guy that can produce when he's out there. So at 6,700, if we're getting 30 minutes from Şengün, if not more than that, I think Şengün looks really appealing. He's definitely my favorite play on Houston. Don't have a ton of interest in really anyone else on the Rockets. KJ Martin at 5,300 I think is okay. His minutes have been very secure. Role's been very solid. He feels priced about right. Not a guy that offers a massive ceiling, but in a good game environment like this, I think there is some upside for KJ Martin. But that's really it for the Rockets. Now on the other side with the Warriors, I mean, great matchup for Steph Curry here going up against Houston. I think Steph looks like one of the best, if not the best, pay-up option on this slate, in my opinion. We know that Houston's been terrible defensively this season, especially against guards, and we've seen a lot of guards do well against Houston this year. Curry's had a lot of success against them. He's averaged over 66 Draftkings points in 2 games against the Rockets this season. Curry's playing massive minutes on a nightly basis right now. The Warriors just keep losing games, and they're just going to, they keep falling in the standings. The Warriors actually need to win games, or they could have a chance of maybe falling into the play-in, which obviously they don't want. So I expect Curry to have a big role, play big minutes. The matchup is about as good as it gets. Curry looks like a great play today. Have a ton of interest in him. I think Klay Thompson's really appealing for GPPs. Great matchup for him against a Rockets team that gives up a lot of threes. I think it's a really good spot for Klay Thompson. He's had a lot of success against Houston as well this season, so definitely interested in Klay. Probably wouldn't play Klay and Steph together, but I think Klay is definitely in play. Poole, I'll probably pass on. Draymond, I don't mind at 6,200. I do want to mention that Kevon Looney is questionable for today, and I think if Kevon Looney gets ruled out, that does make Draymond look a little bit more appealing. Draymond will play pretty much all of his minutes at center. He would be really productive in those minutes. His rebounding numbers take a big boost with Looney off the floor. So I think he kind of would look appealing at 6,200. He probably would be my third favorite play on Golden State behind the two guards, Steph and Clay. And then like Dante DiVincenzo, I don't mind either. He should continue to play pretty good minutes. Great matchup for him as well. Like, this is a game I want to be invested in. Given the pricing, it's a lot easier to roster the Warriors today than it is the Rockets, but this should be a very high-scoring, fast-paced game, and I definitely think there's going to be multiple guys in this game that do pretty well and that outperform their salaries. So yeah, this is going to be one we want to target. A lot to like on both sides. Probably my favorite play overall in this game, though, is definitely Steph Curry. I think it's a really, really good spot for him. But let's go ahead and move on to the last game of the night, the Kings and the Jazz. Start off on the Utah side. There's some news to keep an eye on for Utah today. No Jordan Clarkson, already been ruled out for this game. Colin Sexton's still out as well. But Lauri Markkanen is questionable, so we're going to have to monitor the status of Lauri Markkanen. Obviously, if there's no Sexton, Clarkson, or Markkanen, we can expect a lot of usage for Talen Horton-Tucker, some usage maybe for Kelly Olynyk. I mean, you look at this Jazz team, and they really don't have like a lot of guys that will soak up a ton of usage. Like, I mean, Walker Kessler's he's not a high usage center. He's gonna, just set screens and rebound and stuff. Kelly Olynyk, I guess, can soak up some usage, but I think Talen Horton-Tucker would be the guy that really gets a lot of opportunity here if there's no Lauri Markkanen. So if Lauri Markkanen is out, even at 6,800, I think Talen Horton-Tucker looks like a really good play today. I would have a lot of interest in him. I think Kelly Olynyk would be playable as well at 5,700. Then there would be some value from Utah. Like, I think Ogbaji's minutes would be very secure at 3,800. I think he would be a pretty solid value if Lauri Markkanen is out. And then I don't know what the starting lineup would look like. I don't know who would start in place of Markkanen. It could be Rudy Gay. It could be Juan Toscano Anderson. They could start Chris Dunn and THT together, maybe. We'll just have to keep an eye on it. This is the last game of the night, so I don't think we're not gonna have the Jazz starting lineup before lock. We might not even have news on Markkanen before lock. But if Markkanen's out, that definitely makes a lot of these Utah guys look way more appealing. If Markkanen plays, I'm not as interested in these Utah guys because I think they're all kind of priced where they should be. The matchup is really good against Sacramento. Sacramento's been playing fast. Their defense has been pretty poor. But I would definitely have more interest in these Utah guys, if there's no Markkanen. And then Markkanen himself at 9,100, don't mind him here. Really good matchup. Price tag feels about right. But we've seen Lauri Markkanen have a massive role this season, play really, really big minutes. He'd be playable, but not a guy that I would really be prioritizing. So I think that's really it for Utah. Now on the other side with Sacramento, so Domantas Sabonis at 10,400, I think is a very solid pay up option today. Sabonis is a very, very high floor play. He's a guy that just even on his bad nights, he's going to give you 40 or 50 DraftKings points. And lately we've been seeing a big ceiling from Sabonis. He put up 71 against Milwaukee, 65 against Brooklyn, 61 against Washington. You kind of want Sabonis to put up 60 plus when you're paying this price tag for him. And in this matchup against Utah, this has been a pretty good matchup for centers. I think the upside is definitely there for Sabonis. I think this is another game that should be very high scoring, very fast paced. So I think Sabonis is firmly in play. I think De'Aaron Fox is in a really, really good spot. His price tag at 8,200 feels way too low. I know he's had some bad games lately, but he's also kind of had some tough matchups too. Like Chicago was a tough matchup. He had to deal with Mikal Bridges and Dorian Finney-Smith facing Brooklyn. Little weird to see him do as poorly as he did against Washington, but I definitely think this is a big bounce back spot for De'Aaron Fox. And with the price tag coming down, yeah, at 8,200, for sure sign me up for De'Aaron Fox today. So really like Fox and Sabonis. I think given the savings, though, I probably would prefer Fox between the two. And the rest of Sacramento, I don't see too much interest in anyone else here, but I do want to mention that Kevin Huerter is questionable. So this is kind of some big news to keep an eye on. If Kevin Huerter is out, I think that does open up more opportunity for guys like Malik Monk, Harrison Barnes. We saw Malik Monk have a really good game last game. He played 23 minutes, didn't play a ton of minutes, but was very productive, had 35 DraftKings points. I think his minutes would definitely be more secure if there's no Kevin Huerter, so I would definitely be interested in Monk. I think Harrison Barnes at 4,900 would be an okay value. He's not been great lately, but the minutes are still solid. The game environment's really good. I think he'd be playable. Keegan Murray's minutes have been way down lately, so it's really hard to feel confident in Keegan Murray. At least the last few games, or the last games before their last few games, they were. I didn't know that he played 35 minutes last game. I missed that one. So maybe Keegan Murray's the guy that really benefits without Kevin Huerter. He had a big game last game, but prior to last game, his minutes were kind of trending down. He only played 15 against Phoenix. He only played 22 against Milwaukee. I think he'd be an okay option at 4,600 if Kevin Huerter's out. And I don't think there's really anyone else worth going to. Kessler Edwards actually did start last game in place of Kevin Huerter, but he didn't really do much. Played 19 minutes, had just 14 DraftKings points even if he starts again, probably not a guy that I would really be looking to roster. So yeah, that does it for Sacramento, I think, and I think that does it for this 6-game Monday slate. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, appreciate you watching. Make sure you hit that like button down below before you guys get out of here. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to the channel, again, go check out Prize Picks, sponsor of the video. You guys can sign up for Prize Picks. You can use my promo code NOAH. When you sign up for Prize Picks with my promo code, you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. Take a look at all the props that Prize Picks has available for this Monday slate. See if there's anything that stands out to you. They also offer a lot of other sports outside of just NBA. You can mix and match sports on Prize Picks. You can make some multi-sport entries. It's a lot of fun. You guys need to be playing over there. And again, if you're not signed up for Prize Picks yet, use that promo code NOAH. When you sign up, get your first deposit matched up to $100. But hope you guys all enjoyed your weekend. Hopefully we can all win some money on this Monday night slate. And hope you guys all enjoy your Monday night. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.